London the other night, there was a massive onslaught of Albanians in the middle of central London, blocking central London for their Independence Day. And a lot of people were dismayed by this, but there's a bigger picture now emerging, seemingly one that the London Lord Mayor Sadiq Khan wishes to ignore. And this is the bigger impact on tourism, not just here in London, but across the United Kingdom, Northern Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. And as ever, let me explain. Hi, good morning, Neil. Sean here in the very heart of London. Nice to see you today. This particular story is a little bit dark in many respects, simply because, of course, it all centres upon our migrant crisis. I know many countries have a similar crisis, but the big one over here is it's very difficult now if you wish to come and visit our beautiful and fair land. That's simply because there's a distinct shortage of, well, places to stay. And as ever, let me explain. As we've now seen in the media day in, day out, so many major hotels are being requisitioned by the government to place migrants in. And this is where it becomes really tricky because the hotels that they're taking on do range from mid price to 5 star, depending on what area they decide to place them in. More so than that, actually, former army veterans have been moved out of certain hotels in order to place the migrants in hotels. How disgusting is that? You know, throwing those boys that have done so much good for their king and country on the street. Deplorable when one thinks about it. But here's where the bigger picture is, because we're now seeing a major decline over here in tourism, and as you can imagine, with the cost of living crisis really taking off, and people simply looking at what they can afford and what they can't afford when they're planning their trip, countering the fact that you've got your airfare, taxes, meals, maybe a night at the theatre, maybe, just looking around tourism spots. It all adds up. But the biggest problem is this, that people simply can't find somewhere to stay which is budget friendly. Now, a lot of the bigger hotels, the famous ones that you know of course, have obviously now put their prices up because they feel that if people do want to stay, they will in fact pay for luxury. But where does it leave people in the mid price range? Well, seemingly we're seeing a massive decline in tourism coming back because not only that, even if you book your hotel, that particular hotel could be requisitioned by the Home Office, by the government at a moment's notice through even legalities. And even though you may have a wedding, a party, an anniversary, or indeed a lengthy stay booked over here, you can simply be turfed out, eventually given a refund. That's the reason why tourism is falling down. The way that the government will pay, particularly over here in London, the Labour-run government, is that, people simply now can't afford it, they don't want to come here, etc. It's simply not the case. Talking to a lot of tourists here on the ground in London, you can really see what's affecting them. And it is the cost of living. It is the fact that they can't now afford to stay in places where they would have stayed. But seemingly there's no end to the endless migrants that are coming back into London, back into, of course, the United Kingdom on a daily basis, all the while taking away the opportunity for the country to grow, develop, and more importantly, welcome genuine tourists back to the United Kingdom. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.